What's up, comic book fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, the co-host of the Marvel Masterworks podcast, here with a look at the Hasbro 12-inch Titan Hero Series figure of Wolverine. So I was pretty shocked to find this figure in an outlet store recently. This is one of the first figures produced in this line by Hasbro. This is actually from 2013, and I thought I'd go ahead and pick it up as trade bait and to review here on my YouTube channel. So with no further ado, let's look at the package details. On the front bottom of the packaging, we see the Hasbro logo. It says Wolverine. It says Titan Hero Series in multiple languages here. And we also get some attractive artwork of Wolverine. We get this logo on the top. On the bottom, we get lots of product information. And as you can see, this figure came out 9 years ago. I certainly didn't expect to see this on a recent toy hunt. We get more Wolverine artwork on both sides of the package. On the back, we get this full body product shot, and there's not much more than that other than the words large size in several different languages. Here is the figure as seen through the front window. This is not the most sturdy window, nor is this the most sturdy packaging. I'm not a huge fan of figures being partially obscured by the packaging. But with all that being said, now I think it's time to bust this figure out of the package and see what's inside. And here we see Wolverine out of the package and ready to rumble. Now, I'll be honest here, this is not a great figure. However, it's not without its charm. I can see someone wanting to pick this up as a piece for a custom project, or a hardcore X-Men collector wanting to pick this up to display alongside other 12-inch Wolverine figures. And as a toy, I think this is a great investment. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the loose details now. Let's have a look at the lower body now, and the paint job is actually pretty solid. I really like this blue and yellow together. I especially like this bright yellow. I think that's really attractive. The boots are sculpted pretty well, I gotta say. I like these ridges here. And this is a sturdy figure. It's not going to fall over easily if you put it up on a high shelf. You don't have to worry about it falling down easily. There is articulation at the top of the boot. I, of course, would have preferred something in the knees, but at least we have something here. Good sculpting here on the quadriceps. I would have preferred like a dark wash or something to give it a little bit more definition, but I do like what we got here. Could use a little bit more definition back here with the calf muscles and the hamstrings. But again, there are some attractive things about the lower body here. Now, in terms of articulation, again, this is one of the first figures that Hasbro put out in this line, so the articulation, very lacking. You can get him to kick forward, and really that's not bad. But he doesn't kick out, and you can't get him to step back at all. And I always wish that pretty much any figure that I buy, that it could step back just a little to, balance the figure. But really, any backward articulation is blocked by the hip area here. Let's have a look at this torso now, and this is the worst aspect of the figure. First of all, the body mold looks really weird. He almost goes straight up and down, like his waist and his ribs and his pectoral muscles up here. It's like they're all the same size. And you can see just kind of how weird that looks when you take the arms and put them over his head. Now, the paint applications on the front aren't bad. You can see the X symbol here and the belt. Pretty good sculpting here along these seams here on the front of the costume. And again, I do like the way that this blue and yellow works together. But there's not any paint on the back. And Hasbro, they've gotten a little bit better when it comes to figuring out ways to keep the figures at the price point of $10. But early on, they were just really just ignoring the back areas and really not applying any paint at all. So again, now as a customizer, you could probably fix this very easily. This may be a little frustrating to you if you're a collector who doesn't like to customize. Now, there is some decent sculpt work here on the abdominals and the pectorals here. But again, just glancing at this torso from a distance, you can just tell it looks weird. Here is a more recent release. This is Icarus. By the way, I did a review on this figure too. Much more in proportion. So you can see how far Hasbro has come with this line in 9 years. Let's have a look at the arms now, and I actually think there's a great deal to like here. First of all, these gloves look really good. I like the ridges on these that match the boots, so I appreciate that. The claws don't look bad at all. Now, they don't really look metallic. They're more of a matte gray, but again, they're all the same size, so I appreciate that. They're also not going to break easily. As you can see here, they could stand up to some rough play. There's articulation right here, so that is appreciated. Good musculature here on the arms. You can see, differentiation in the triceps and the biceps, the forearms and the deltoids. I really do like how the uniform comes up over the deltoids here. I really like how that looks. 360 degrees of rotation here, so that's not bad at all. So something that I'd like to point out here, this gave me a little bit of a scare when I articulated the first joint on this figure. Because this figure has been in the package for so long, I think the plastic and the paint has kind of settled a little bit. So if you get this sound, that doesn't mean that you're breaking anything. It's just kind of that little bit of a seal being broken, and now the figure's points of articulation can move as they should. So let's have a look at the head sculpt now, and there are certainly things to like about it, but there are also areas that really deserve criticism. Overall, the shape is pretty good, I've got to say. I like how that looks. I like the shape of the chin. Here's what it looks like from behind, and again, really not bad at all. I do like the wrinkles that have been sculpted in, and the paint applications are tight, so I appreciate that. However, the mouth looks really weird. It really could have used like a dark wash for definition. And maybe a little bit of stubble. I don't think that would have been too expensive to add. It just looks like a piece of plastic. It's even hard to see the definition at all, like the molding definition on the mouth. So that was an area where a corner was cut. Likewise, the eyes. Now, I like the way the mask has the eye holes sculpted, but you can see these little slits that are meant to represent his eyes. They're just kind of there, and they're kind of up in the mask, and they just don't look great. That looks a little on the cheap side. Now, in terms of articulation, it's a little bit better than I thought it would be. You can get him to look side to side, despite the fact that he has this huge neck. You can't really get the head to go up, but you can get him to look down a little bit. You can get his head to tilt a little bit, and I always appreciate that. And if, for whatever reason, you would like to have his head go all the way around, you can get it to do that as well. So if you come across one of these, it will likely be in an outlet store or a specialty shop, and you'll only have to pay a few dollars for it. There is enough here, I think, for collectors to maybe consider paying a few dollars. Again, there's enough about this that is attractive, and as you can see, if you pose it in a certain way, it really does look good. And if you're an X-Men fan, you may just look at this and be immediately attracted to it. And as a toy, again, this is very, very hard plastic. This is not something that's going to break easily. I think it is a good investment because you could buy this and a couple of years later, it's still going to be around. It's not going to be something that breaks within the first few times that a child plays with it. So is it worth a few dollars, like the $3 I paid for it? I definitely think so. I certainly hope you have enjoyed this review. If so, please like, subscribe, and tell a friend to do the same. Stay tuned at the end of the video for some articulation shots, and also remember to catch me on the Multiverse Musings vidcast, available right here on YouTube. And I'll be back to the internet with more comic book related content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.